Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm Connie, and today we are here ranking every episode of The Owl House. So this is a thing we did with Amphibia. We ranked every single episode of the show, but prior to doing that, we also did like top 10 episodes. I don't think we did that with this series. I might be wrong, but I don't think we did like videos specifically saying top 10 of each season. But either way, I'm going to be ranking these completely fresh, completely off of the top of my mind based on all the watches and rewatches I have had. As you can see, these are well sorted out. They show the name of the episode, an image, and the number. So it goes all the way from season 1 up to season 3. You can't see it, but Watching and Dreaming is there. In fact, can I adjust this real quick? Just a little bit over. Just a little bit there. There. And I'll adjust my camera. There, that's a little better. That shows everything a little better. So, now you can see basically everything I can on my screen. Except it cuts off a little bit at the top, but that's fine. So yeah, we are going to go in order. Oh, hold on. I did not mean to drag that. And as you can see, our scale goes from S down to F. Honestly, I don't know if we're going to have any F rankings, but it's possible. S rankings, I am going to very specifically save only for episodes that really wowed me or are really important to me. So there's probably not going to be a lot of S ones. There will be probably a few of them, but not like a huge amount. So let us get this going and rank every episode of The Owl House now that the series has concluded. So we start off with A Lying Witch and a Warden. Season 1, Episode 1. Now, I've gone on record in various videos stating before that while good, it was not the best opening. Like, it doesn't hook you in as much as other shows' openings have. For me, for example, the Ghost and Molly McGee's opening is extremely stronger than that. I would give, and even on rewatches, it's like, I do like the episode. It does give a good first impression, but it's not the best it could have been, I feel. I would give it a B. So, Witches Before Wizards. Excuse me. This episode does some really good things for Luz's character early on. It shows kind of who she is going into the Boiling Isles and how her trajectory is set to change. But as a piece of entertainment, the episode is honestly kind of hard to sit through. It's very tropey, and I know that's the point. I know that it's supposed to be tropey, so it can break the trope at the end. That's literally the point of the episode. But it is so hard to sit through on rewatches. I because of the fact that it does break the trope and it is trying to get something good across, I will give it a C, but I cannot give it anything above that. I Was a Teenage Abomination. This episode introduces us to a lot of new characters, including Amity, Willow, and Gus. It also introduces us to the school, which is a big part of the series. Not to mention, it's just really fun. It's a really fun episode. Amity, as the bully at this point in the series, is really good. She's a good bully who you can tell is going to go through a character arc of her own. You can see that right from the start. And it just has a lot of good humor, a lot of good moments in it. It's just really good. I would give this an A. The Intruder is, honestly, I would say the first big episode of the series. It basically goes from, oh, this is like this fun little witch series to this is something that's setting shit up. The Intruder sets up a lot of shit that is going to be extremely important in the future. It shows off Ida's curse. It it leaves off with basically a cliffhanger on who cursed her, um, which we don't find out for basically the entire rest of the season. And it's really good. It has this kind of horror like vibe to it, which is great. Plus, it's the first episode that Aaron Hansen voiced in, so that's a plus in and of itself. This is definitely an A, and I would put it above Teenage Abomination. It's that good. It is. Convention is definitely a personal favorite of mine. Like obviously with the convention comparison, there's a lot that you could look at this and like, oh yeah, I've been to like anime conventions and stuff. I recognize what's going on here. Um, but obviously, it has a more direct, specific focus. But it also, again, just like the intruder, builds up on stuff. It's expanding the world and showing us new characters, new information, big stuff. I would put it between Intruder and Teenage Abomination. Intruder felt a little more impactful comparatively, but Convention is definitely up there. Hootie's Moving Hassle, I love the reference, but on rewatches, the episode is just kind of okay. It's not bad by any means. It's good, um, but it just doesn't feel entirely necessary. Like the only big thing it gives to us is just kind of showing that these characters have some strong magic in them, like surprisingly strong magic, which does come into play in the future. But that's pretty much it. I mean, there's some entertaining stuff to it, but it's not as entertaining as a lot of other episodes. I would put it in C, but above Witches Before Wizards. Lost in Language is my kind of shit. One, it really kicks off Amity and Luz's friendship, going from Amity being a bully to eventually being Luz's lover. Um, it really kickstarts all of that. And not to mention the entire books coming to life and everything is just like that's my shit. Like I grew up watching the Page Turner constantly, or Page Master. Shit, now I'm not even sure. I haven't watched it in a long time. Macaulay Culkin movie, half live action, half animated. You know what I'm talking about. I think it's Page Master actually. Page Turner doesn't even sound right. I think it's Page Master. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. I'm sure. Hopefully, if you don't, look it up, because you should see it. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. It's definitely my kind of shit, and like I said, it's important to the characters and their arcs. This is also an A, and I would put it above The Intruder. Just personally, I like it better. And while it may not be as powerful and impactful as The Intruder, I just really like it. Okay. After that, we have Once Upon a Swap. Not gonna see that too often, are you? I don't like body swap episodes. They rarely are entertaining. Um, there is literally only single thing I actually like about this episode, and that's just the rat worms. And they have nothing really to do with the episode. I just think they're cute. Um, like all the body swap stuff is just it's annoying. It's annoying. It's stupid. Body swap stuff is almost never done well in my eyes. It's just like you would need to be doing it into some exceptional degree to actually get me to like it. Like even Freaky Friday, which has Jamie Lynn Curtis, who I love, or Jamie Lee Curtis, not Jamie Lynn, Jamie Lee Curtis, who I love. That wouldn't even be that high for me because I don't like the concept. I've just never been a fan of body swap episodes, and this one is just. There's been like a couple people reacting to Owl House lately. nor especially the channel Let's React, and that's two T's in Let's. Um, yeah, I skipped their reaction to this episode because I didn't want to watch it again. And it's the only episode I've done that with. That should tell you a lot. Moving on, though. Season 1, Episode 9. Something Ventured, Someone Framed. Matt Thalamuel's debut. D. It's not that great. It's not. It's like it's all about like, oh, Human Appreciation Society and you know the detention pit, and it's like Matt's not really that great of an antagonist. It's just not that good. Like it's better than Once Upon a Swap because it's not relying on a really bad trope, in my opinion. But it's just kind of boring, honestly. Like it really doesn't do much. If I'm being completely honest. Escape of the Palisman, Season 1, Episode 10, on the other hand, is pretty great. Escape of the Palisman, I would give it a B. And I would put it above Episode 1. It's not like one of the best up there, but it deserves a higher up spot. I really like the Bat Queen, and I like Ida and King kind of becoming like parents to the Bat Babies. And I also like the little journey that Luz goes on to get Albert back. It's really cool to see, and it's a really fun episode. There's some good humor in it as well. Season 1, Episode 11, Sense and Insensitivity. Nah, it just like with Something Ventured, Someone Framed, it just doesn't do it for me. It's just I don't get the appeal of it. It's not my thing. Like the book signings and everything, it's like, eh. It's like there's a couple good jokes in it, but not enough to save it. It's another episode that I mean, I guess I would watch it again over Something Ventured, Someone Framed, but still, eh. Adventures in the Elements. This episode is so important that it is actually directly referenced in the finale. It's where Luz first connects to the Boiling Isles. It really like continues to hammer in Luz and Amity's future relationship, and we get to see some great shenanigans with the twins and Ida and everyone, and you get the Beast in there. It's really good, and I just really love it. It's top of A tier for now. The first day is pretty good. It's pretty good. It's just kind of the introductions to the school and reintroductions to the school and everything. Luz actually getting to go. We get to meet Viney, which is always a plus. And it really kind of changes things up when Luz and some of the other students are allowed to take multiple course tracks, which is a pretty big deal. And again, that is actually a really big deal for the future. However, just in entertainment value and all, I would put it at top of B. It's like there are better episodes. Really Small Problems is another one of those episodes that's like, I don't hate the trope like I do with Once Upon a Swap, but I would probably put it only in C tier. It doesn't do enough for me, and it's like, again, there's some good jokes in it. The King and Luz stuff is cute, but I could not put it anything above C. I don't feel like it's above that. But now we get into the rest of season 1, and basically everything from here on out, like, just knocks it out of the park. So yeah, Understanding Willow is phenomenal. It is such a good episode. We see how much Amity has grown as a character. We get to learn a lot more about Willow and Amity in it. the symbolism and depth and character work that it goes into is just surprisingly amazing. I only put it under Adventures in the Elements because of personal bias. Personally, Adventures in the Elements is just I just enjoy it more. But Understanding Willow is up there, and honestly, I would say it's probably a better episode overall. But again, personal preferences are going to affect this list. And speaking of personal preferences, Enchanting Ground Right. Was there ever any doubt? Like, did you have any doubt that this would be in an S tier? This is the episode that makes this series for people. Like, everything prior to then, like, there's some good shit, but this episode just completely changes the trajectory, shows that this is going to be something special, that they're going to, like, not be afraid to touch on topics of queer characters. And even beyond that, the ways they go into fear, into doubt, into concerns that these characters have is powerful and well handled. The prom kind of allegory and everything also is just really entertaining and fun to watch. There's pretty much nothing bad about this episode. In fact, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. It's that good. And speaking of being that good, Wing It Like Witches is the new top of A tier because it is basically Gay Panic the episode. I wouldn't give it an S tier ranking. It's not quite there for me, but it is really damn close. Wing It Like Witches is Gay Panic the episode. Seeing Amity constantly gay panicking over Luz is fucking adorable. It is so cute, but it's also so meaningful. As a queer person, it's amazing to see it being so blatant. It's not even hiding it. Like, it's not a subtle thing like you could say, like, oh no, she really likes Luz as a friend and just is worried about being around her. No, it's very blatant. It's love. I mean, if the Grom episode didn't already make that clear, it's very blatant. It's love. Like, with all the incessant blushing and the entire sweating line. Like, oh my god, Amity. It's a good thing they eventually got together and just love on each other and dote on each other, because it's like, I don't think Amity would have survived much more gay panic, being honest. But then we get into the finale. So we have Agony of a Witch and Youngblood Old Souls. I don't know if this is a popular or unpopular opinion, but I like Agony of a Witch more. I just think that the reveal in it, the fight between Ida and Lilith, and just the intensity of it felt more grand than the finale, or than the final episode of the season. Youngblood Old Souls had some good stuff in it for sure. Lilith's redemption coming in full and everything, her splitting the curse with Ida, stuff like that. It's great, but it's not as good as Agony of a Witch for me. I would put Agony of a Witch just under Understanding Willow. I would put Youngblood Old Souls just under The Intruder, if it'll let me. There we go. That's how much better I think Agony of a Witch is, but they're still both A tier. They definitely are. But you know what's not? Season 2, Episode 1, Separate Tides. While this does give us our first real introduction of the Golden Guard, though he appeared very briefly at the end of Youngblood Old Souls, it's not really that fun of an episode. Like, you would think, like, the entire pirate adventure thing would be a lot more fun. Especially for me, a big fan of One Piece. But it's not. It's kind of boring. And it's like, on rewatches, it's just like, okay, I'd rather get to the next episode. And we'll talk about that, but... yeah, I would put this in a C tier, honestly. I'd still bump it up to the top of C tier at this point, but I just I don't think I could put it any higher, honestly. Escaping expulsion, though, bet you didn't see that coming. This episode is phenomenal. It's easily one of my favorites. Um, it really hammers in Lou's and Amity's upcoming relationship. Like the entire get like stay away from my Lou's line sent me, and it sends a lot of people. It's like that's a big line. Not to mention, I've talked before. I made an entire video on why Amity is a huge comfort character for me, and this episode really hammers a lot of that in with the very abusive parent and everything. Um, yeah, it's really powerful, and it's one of those episodes that anytime I would rewatch the series, I would actively look forward to getting to. So yeah. Echoes of the Past is a really good episode that adds a lot of depth to King and sets up for the future really well, but it's just a B tier for me, which may be surprising to you because I really loved it in my initial reaction, but this is also based on rewatches and everything. And it's like, again, all the great emotional stuff is there, all the great setup is there, but just the entertainment value of rewatching it is just it's not an episode I really want to get to as much. It's just one of those episodes that definitely goes at the top. It's one of those episodes that it's really well made and it's really important, but it's just personally not one of my favorites. Keeping Up Appearances. This one's complicated for me because I like the kind of themes they're going for, with Ida and Lilith's mother being, not the best. It's wild to me that a lot of fans, for some reason, have Ida and Lilith's mother as one of the good parents in this series. It's like, no. This episode went out of its way to show that she's kind of not. Like, she has the right intentions, like, and everything, but she's also extremely controlling and judgmental, and just kind of a dumbass as well. It's like, does she learn from her mistakes by the end? Yes, she does. But I would not say she's one of the better parents in the series compared to when you have, like, Camila in there. It's like, come on, it's not even comparable. It's just, she irritates the shit out of me. A lot of it comes down to personal stuff, and it's like, but at the same time, it's like it gives us a lot of good stuff too. I'm gonna have to put it in C. I'm gonna have to put it in C because it's like there's some really good stuff, but there's some stuff that makes it really hard for me to watch. Through the Looking Glass Ruins has our first Lumity kiss. Yes, I know that's not the point of the episode. The point of the episode is Gus. The Lumity stuff is the B plot. But I actually really am against I don't remember if I talked about this when I first reacted to it, but I actually think the B plot in this episode was so much more investing than the A plot. Like, I like Gus all well enough, but the A plot was boring as shit. If I'm being honest, the A plot was boring. It's like, I don't care about Gus trying to fit in with these kids from a school that we know right off the bat are posers. It's so obvious. It's like, we know where this is going. We know that Gus is going to prove himself with his illusions. Nothing about it is surprising or interesting or fun to watch, really. The only interesting part of the entire experience is when Gus does the big illusions at the end and makes it really horrifying. That's it. The rest of the episode, the rest of the stuff with Gus, the rest of the A plot, is boring. Honestly, I don't care about any of these other characters. I don't care about Matt Thalamuel's quote unquote redemption. None of that stuff matters to me. The B plot is so much more investing because we want to see more of Luz and Amity at this point. It's the appeal of this series, honestly. And everything that happens in the B plot, if the entire episode was the B plot, this would be probably S tier. I'm not even kidding you. It's that good. If the entire thing was the Gus stuff, it would be D tier. That's how different the A plot and the B plot are for me. But because of the fact that it splits it, I'm gonna put it at the top of C tier. It's like the Lumity stuff is what brings it up there, is what like kind of splits it. But it's like, no, I'll put it in B tier. Yeah, I don't feel like C tier is right. I'll put it in B tier because the Lumity stuff is that damn good. And I'll put it above Lion Witch and Warden. But that's as far as I can go. I can't go any further. It's just, the Gus stuff is so boring. It's so predictable. And usually predictability is not a huge issue for me, but in this case, it's just like, it was just so hard to watch. Hunting Palisman, it's good. Like, it really introduces us to Hunter, and again, builds and develops the world a bit. Kiki is a little bitch. Yeah. It's a B tier, I guess. I would put it under Echoes of the Past. It's like, it's not really that, like, exciting and everything. It's not that fun to rewatch. It's not, like, bad. There's episodes that are a lot harder to rewatch, but I wouldn't put it that high. As much as I like Hunter, I wouldn't put it that high. Ida's Requiem, on the other fucking hand. Yeah, another thing I bet you didn't see coming, that it would be above Escaping Expulsion. Ida's Requiem is phenomenal. It not only introduces us to Rain, who is absolutely wonderful, but it gives us Rain as a non-binary character who is properly gendered throughout. It gives us a love story for Ida, which is something that we kind of didn't know we wanted. And it's so fucking well done. Not to mention, it's the first appearance of Daddies Darius and Everwolf as well. So there's that, too. But yeah, it's so good. And the music, oh my god, the actual Requiem is so fucking good. It's like, there's just, again, like with these others, there's not really anything I dislike about it. It's just, it's that damn good for me. And then we have Knock Knock Knocking on Hootie's Door. Yeah. You know why that's up there. You absolutely know why that's up there. It's the proposal. It's Luz and Amity officially becoming girlfriends. And the other stuff in this is great, too. Harpy Ida is like, oh my god, I love that. and even King learning his Titan powers and everything for the first time is really good and again, is important to later in the series. Everything in this episode is extremely important. But the Lumity, like, official confirmation is just, it's one of my favorite moments in the entire series. And I will rewatch this episode like 10 times back to back just to see that over and over. It's that good. And I have literally done that. I'm not even kidding you. I have done that. A few of them were with reactions, mind you, but still. Then we have Eclipse Lake, which is a very popular one. that I don't think deserves the popularity as much. It's not bad, and it has some great stuff with the characters, such as Luce's Little Mouse song, which is fucking adorable. Amity trying to be the best girlfriend ever, which is adorable. And Hunter having a mental breakdown. Not adorable, but funny. Weirdly funny, and I feel weird that it's funny. Um, but it gives a lot more depth to Hunter as a character. And that's about it. Like, we get to see Ida and King show off their powers a little bit, and Amity is pretty fun, using her abomination pouch like Katara in Avatar uses her water, which is a great reference because of the same VA. But at the same time, it's just like the episode is just kind of to me. I would give it a B, but I would give it a low B. Like, I would put it just above Through the Looking Glass Ruins. I think that's a fair placement. Yesterday's Lie, however, just get used to seeing this with some episodes. Like I said, there's going to be a few episodes up there. Yesterday's Lie it makes me cry every time I see it, for multiple reasons. The scene where Camila tells the trapped V that she didn't know she had such a brave, strong girl living under her roof this entire time. Just even thinking about that is making me tear up. That is, again, one of my favorite scenes in this entire series. I mentioned this on Discord because I posted a tier list of like all of my favorite characters. I ranked it was a very comprehensive list, but I don't think like every single character, but you know. And V is up there for me. And I feel like I don't talk about her as much because I fawn over Amity so much, but V is extremely important to me as a character too, and this episode is like really showcasing that with how afraid she is and how just anxious and timid and just desiring, you know, love and affection and help. It's just like she is just the most precious thing in the world and deserves all the hugs and love and everything. Like I said, I was tearing up just thinking about that scene. And yes, there's also the stuff with Luz and her mother and everything. We can't forget about that. This episode also turned me around completely on Camila, who I was not actually the biggest fan of prior. And mind you, the series actually does touch on that with acknowledging that Camila was not the best at first. But yeah, so this episode did a lot for me. It's up there. Follies at the Coven Day Parade. So the first episode back after the hiatus in season 2. It was okay. I was never sold on Kiki Mora. Like, it was always obviously a trap. Plant bitch here, I can't remember her name right now. She's interesting, I guess. And the episode does end with Bellos revealing his face to everyone. We have some good Amity and Luz team up fighting. I'd give it a B. I feel like it's not that fun. It seems like a lot more serious, but almost at the expense of entertainment, if that makes any sense. It's not bad. It's just not as good as other ones for me. I'd put it under Hunting Palisman. Elsewhere and Elsewhen, our time travel episode that shows that Philip Wittebane, aka Bellos, was a shitlord. It also reveals that Philip Wittebane is Bellos. It also really touches on the Collector. It's a really good episode, if for no other reason than Cool Aunt Lilith. I'd give it an A tier, but where would I put it? I would probably put this right under Wing It Like Witches. It deserves to be up there for sure. Um, Lilith decking Philip in the nose was amazing. Lilith really won me over in this episode compared to prior ones. Like, I liked Lilith. I liked the trajectory she was going at with her character. But this episode was the first one in this season that really won me over with her. Any Sport in the Storm is a big episode for Hunter's development and really getting him his own found family. Between daddies Darius and Eberwolf, as well as just, his teammates. It's a really good episode. Um, I would put it probably just under Lost in Language, though. Um, just based on personal preferences and all. Reaching Out broke me, and it still kind of breaks me. Like it seems like it's a fun episode with the tournament and everything, and Amity going against her parents' wishes because she's a strong, independent young woman, and that's awesome. Luz cheering her on. But then you also have the fact that Luz is clearly out of sorts, something's wrong, and the entire day she's been just avoidant about something. And then you find out what it is, and it breaks your fucking heart into a million little pieces. We find out about her father finally. That her father passed away, and we don't know yet how yet. That comes later. Um, but we find out that her father passed away. That it's the anniversary of his death, and normally on this day, her and her mother bring flowers to his grave, and they spend the day together and whatnot. And when you see her tell Amity about this, you see Amity's face. Amity's like heart has just completely shattered. All of her annoyance at how Luce was acting completely melted away because it made sense. She understood. She has family problems herself, and like while her relationships with her parents and notably her father in this episode aren't necessarily on the same level as Luz's with her parents, she understands the feeling nonetheless. She sympathizes. And sorry for the lighting, by the way. I just noticed that it's more cloud cover outside. um it's really good and really emotional. I would put it just under Wing It Like Witches, again, just based on preference. And also, Reaching Out is pretty hard to rewatch, just because it gets really heavy, and it's just like, I don't know if I can handle this today. Them's the Breaks, Kids is not hard to rewatch. It is actually really fucking adorable. I love that the entire episode is the flashback with young Ida and Rain and everything, and it's just like, it's so cute, it's so fun, it's just like, it's amazing, it's absolutely wonderful. I love it. I love it. I would put this above Elsewhere and Elsewhen. It's just that good. Hollow Mind, obviously a very important episode, but like Reaching Out is a very heavy episode. This one just gives depression to our boy Hunter. It absolutely destroys him, and you can kind of see why. We go into the Emperor's mind, and Hunter finds out the truth about him. Everything is revealed. It's just really heavy. But it's a really good episode. I would put it under Understanding Willow, personally. Again, the heaviness does kind of weigh down on it a little bit. But it's super important. It gives us a lot of information, even just in the background. And yeah, it's still pretty good for rewatches. Edge of the World is surprisingly not. Like, I actually really enjoyed the episode on the first watch, especially for developments and everything. The fact that we learned King was a Titan. The fact that the trappers were so terrible. I hated them. Especially that shitheel Bill. Um, but yeah, it's just on rewatches, it's just kind of boring. It's not fun to rewatch. It's not bad. I wouldn't put it in D or F, but it's a C for me. Um, I'd put it above. Yeah, I'd put it at the top still. It's like as we go further along, it's like the later episodes that are in the C tier are still better than the earlier episodes that are. Um, so then we get to Labyrinth Runners, and eh. It's like, does this episode like do much for anyone? Like, does it? It's not bad by any means, but it's just it's nothing special either. Like, what's his face? The coven leader is just. I like scummy evil artist characters. If you know like my video game preferences, you know I love Evil Within 2, and that has a great one with Stefano Valentini. And yes, you have to say his name like that. I wasn't actually intending to. It just kind of happened, and I don't know why. But yeah, he's absolutely amazing. Apparently, rain just picked up. What is it called? BioShock. I was thinking BioWatch for some reason. Apparently, BioShock has a character like that too. I'm watching a Let's Play of Evil Within 2 right now from Co Carnage, and he keeps bringing that up. I've never played BioShock, so I wouldn't know. I've never even seen a Let's Play of it. But yeah, anyways, Labyrinth Runners, bottom of B tier. It does some good stuff nonetheless. It develops Gus pretty well. But it's kind of like Through the Looking Glass Ruins. It's just like, eh? I would put Through the Looking Glass Ruins above it. O Titan, Where Art Thou is a heartbreaking, heavy episode that deals with a lot of shit, and he adds another A tier one that's just heavy. um, I like it better than Hollow Mind, but I'm still going to put it right about there. Then we have our season 2 finale, episodes 20 and 21. Clouds on the Horizon is my number 2 at the moment. And yes, once again, because of the Lumity kiss. Because of that. The other stuff in the episode is great, though. Fighting against Odalia and everything, and just King and Alador talking, everything that's going on. Alador, finally standing up to Odalia. It's a really good episode, but the Lumity kiss, oh my god. Like, the fact that the animation just gets insanely better right before it happens, and the fact that it's a full kiss on the lips and everything, it's just like, it's the moment. It's legitimately my favorite moment of the entire series. The only reason Knock Knock Knocking on Hootie's Door is above it is because overall it's a more entertaining episode to me. Then we have King's Tide. Another really good episode. The Collector's debut appearance is definitely another one of my favorite moments. God, there's so many good moments in this series. It's hard to say it would be extremely hard to rank them, especially in just 10. But yeah, the Collector's initial appearance and just wiping out Philip in the way that he did, it's like, oh my god, dude. It's like, I like you already. I would put King's Tide above Reaching Out. I think that's a good placement. Also, the way it ends is just like shocking and heartbreaking, and it's just like, oh, shit. But now we finally get into the final 3 episodes, season 3. And this is this is the really tough part because there's only 3 episodes. They're all double length, and they're all really good, but in different ways and for different reasons. Um, Thanks to them is obviously our Earth arc, even though unlike Amphibia, we didn't get a full arc with that. We just got 1 episode. Like, still peeved at Disney for that, but like Dana and the crew made it work. We got more V, which is always appreciated. V was fucking adorable. But we also got Luz dealing with a lot of shit and a lot of guilt and blame. Luckily, she did not go down the route that Ruby is. I realize that I may have just spoiled something for someone who is not caught up on Ruby yet. It's out of context. I apologize. I do this sometimes where I reference other shows and all. It's so out of context. It doesn't explain too much. I feel bad about that now. I'm not re-recording this entire thing. But yeah, I apologize if I spoiled something there for you, even a little bit. That was not my intention. It just kind of happened. Anyways, yeah, it's a lot of shit going down there. For the future, they come back. You have Camila, like, learning about where Luz has been all this time. You get to see the Collector, and you see Bellos, like, trying to figure out what to do next. And it really is pretty wild to see how everything is changing, how everything is going. It gives us Lilith's new hairstyle, which is just absolutely drop-dead gorgeous. I still stand by that. And then we have Watching and Dreaming, the finale of the entire show, which wraps things up with the Collector, with Bellos, gives us the perfect send-off, as well as Titan Luz, and another one of my favorite moments in the entire series, the magic comes from the heart payoff. The animation and just the pure joy of that moment is definitely one of my favorites. The question is, where would I rank these? It's so... I'm not even kidding that. It's really difficult to know. Because it's like, would I put them in S with these other 6? Or do I just put them in A? Like, they're no lower than A. None of them are. And it's like, then how do I rank them, like, compared to the others? Like, which one do I think is the best? I really wish that they had gotten a full season. Or, again, I kind of said at least double the amount of episodes to cover all of this, because it feels like there's just so much that was rushed. And Dana and the team did their best to make it work, and they did. They made it work. But they shouldn't have had to, because it would have benefited from more. It would have. Watching and Dreaming wraps up with a happy ending. Everything goes well. We have an epilogue scene as well, which is really cute, and getting to see them all as adults and how they're doing now. Except for Gus, he's 2 years younger, but still. Thanks to them also has Flapjack's sacrifice, Hunter nearly dying, Masha being just amazing. For the Future has String Bean's debut. There's just so much. There's just so much. You know? It's real. Okay. This has been the hardest decision I've had to make on this list. Everything else came pretty easily. I'm going to tell you right now that no matter what, none of them are above these first couple on the S tier. Like, in fact, these first 3 are solidified as my top 3 episodes. This is just how I'm feeling now. How about that? This is how I'm feeling now. that could, I mean, all of this could change to a degree. But as I'm feeling now, I would put thanks to them. Um, I would put this under Ida's Requiem. I think that's a good placement for it. I love the Earth stuff. I really wish we got more, especially with V. V could have been so much more as a character. I love her so much. She's still one of my favorite characters. But yeah. For the Future gave us a lot of great stuff too, but I actually liked Thanks for Them a little more, I think. I would put For the Future at the top of A tier. Like, there's a lot of great stuff in it. Again, I love Lilith, her new hairstyle and everything. I love just the conflict of what the collector's done with everything in the Boiling Isles. Getting to see String Bean hatch and everything. It's like there's a lot of great stuff. But I just feel like it wouldn't be an S tier for me. Just personally feel like that. As for Watching and Dreaming, definitely the best of season 3 as of my personal current thoughts. I know this one's like only a week old at a little over a week old at this point, so it's a lot fresher, and it's like yeah, I'm gonna have a little bit of recency bias still, but I just based on personal thoughts right now, I would put it under Yesterday's Lie. It's just such a great wrap up. The action is phenomenal. Them reforming the collector and, you know, teaching him what it means to, you know, understand life and death is pretty great. The bye at the end was so fucking perfect. It is just the perfect way to end it. Their time skip designs as well. Oh my god, I love them. I especially love Amity's time skip design. It's like, you are working it, girl. Like, that is just an absolutely fierce design. But they all look great. They all look great. It's just like it's just so good. It's just, again, there's recency bias there, but that's where I would put it. So there you have it. There's my list. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 S tier episodes. A little more than I was honestly expecting, but yeah, I agree with all of these being in there. And I do agree with For the Future just being at the top of the A tier. I feel like it's just not quite S tier for me. If I wanted to put it in S tier, it would still be under Escaping Expulsion for me. Which, again, may sound weird to some people, but it's just personal opinion. And it's just my opinion as of current. Again, that could change with multiple more rewatches. I usually allow my opinions to be pretty fluid, so they continuously change. But you see, we go through the A tier here. We have quite a lot in the A tier. In fact, I'd say most of the episodes in the A tier. We have B tier, a smaller C tier, and then D and F, our bottom tiers, are very low because there's not a lot of episodes that are bad. Like, these are the only 3 episodes that I would consider to be bad. And I'm not surprised at all that Once Upon a Swap is my least favorite. I already knew that. I knew that going into this, that would be at the bottom of the list. I don't like that episode. Yeah, these 3 episodes just, I'm not a fan of them. And they're season 1 episodes. They're when things are still getting sorted out. They're almost back to back too. There's only one outlier. It's like it goes from 9 to 11. So it's like they're almost entirely back to back, which is, it's kind of like just that period of the season where it's just like, okay, we know it's going to get better, but this is just a low point. But yeah, so that is my list. That is my list of my ranking of every episode in the Owl House. So there you have it. And as a special treat, let me see if I can bring this up real quick. I want to also show off, if I can find it, I also want to show off to all of you who may not be on the Discord my list of my ranking for characters. I just have to find it. I think it's in downloads. Yeah, that looks like it. Okay, let's bring it up. Maybe? There we go. I have to recrop this. Maybe? Oh, no. I know what's wrong. There we go. It was under a different layer. So I'm going to increase the size of this, and we're going to scroll through. So yeah, you can see I increased the size a little too much. You can see who my top 2 favorites are in the personally important tier. Amity and V, no surprise to anyone who's watched my reactions. But then you see there's also the S tier with Luz, Camila, the Collector, Ida, Hunter, and Rain. And then we go from there. All tiers are in order, so like Lilith is definitely the top of my A tier and everything. And there's some characters, like especially in the A tier, you may be wondering, like, why are they there? Like, why is this little Scrimblow from the Bats there? It's like, because she's fucking adorable and I love her. Leave me alone. Viney is there. The Moon Girl, who I just tend to call Celine, is there. It's like, I just love them. Deal with it. But yeah, you see as it goes down and everything, you start to see the Palismans more as well. The Palismans don't have a lot to them, so most of them aren't too high. But you start to see like where the bottom of the barrel characters go as well, like who the characters I really don't like. Obviously, Philip is the bottom of the barrel, obviously. But like you even see like characters I have no opinion on. Characters who just didn't really leave any kind of real impact on me at all. Like you see like Caleb Wittebane there, and it's like he wasn't really much of a character. Like we got a little bit of his backstory with Philip through the photos in Philip's mind, but he wasn't actually really a character that we saw. Same with the Coven heads that are in there as well. It's like we got to see a little bit of them, but they really weren't that much of characters. And at least not enough to leave an impact on me. So there, you get a bonus tier list that I've already made of all of ranking all these characters from the series, from favorite to least favorite. If you have any questions about that, feel free to ask. But yeah, for now, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed seeing me rank all the episodes and the little bonus of seeing all my favorite characters. Well, all the characters ranked. For now, though, thank you so much. I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.